Hello, this is Nikki from Nikki's Crafting Corner. Welcome to my channel. I want to make myself a little chubby notebook and sketchbook, and I want to use this package for my cover. I just want to have different papers in it so I can take little notes and do some small sketches. I think this is a perfect width for my spine, and so I want to use this package for my cover. So let's cut this to size. I want to keep the length of the main body of this package. So let's cut off the excess, the top and the bottom. And I think I want to use this part for the spine because here it is open. So let's open up this piece. I just take my craft knife and go along this edge here, and then I cut off this part with my craft knife. So I don't want it to be a very long project, just a short, quick project to create myself a useful little sketch and notebook. Okay, let's see if these sides are the same. This is 9.5 centimeters, and this is a little bit more, so let's cut off a small piece. Let me measure for once. I don't like measuring, but I want these sides to be equal in length. So I line this up on my craft mat so I have a straightish line. Okay, let's do this. And that's perfect. Okay, I think, oh no, this is a little bit too wide. So if you once start measuring, you're lost. Okay, let's make this straight. Okay, so this should be perfect now. As I love fabric covers, I want to have a fabric cover for my little book, and I have this pretty fabric, and I really love the colors and the images, and I just want to glue this down with a glue stick, and then I want to sew around everything. And I want to have a little pocket on the front, so I want to cut a piece from this doily and glue this to my front edge as well, like this. So let me do all this sewing, and then I will be back. This is my cover now. I have sewn all around the edge, and then I have sewn along the spine, and the reason for this is because I changed my mind about the lace pocket on the front of my cover. Instead, I sewed it inside my cover, and I sewed all the way to the top, so I have a similar look, symmetrical look, and it kind of gives a frame to my front cover. I wanted to keep the bird images. I didn't want to cover these up, so I decided against the lace pocket on the cover. I want this a small book to have a kind of raggedy look, so I will not be afraid to use this and perhaps tear some papers out or pieces out. So I kept all these raggedy edges, and yeah, I'm not concerned about all these not so perfect sewn threads. What I want to do next is I want to do something with my spine. I have this vintage piece of lace, and I want to glue this down onto my spine with some fabric glue. This is a textile glue from a cheap dollar store, and I just want to glue this down onto my cover. But first I have to figure out what is the front. This is the front. Okay. I will go all the way around my spine, a little bit in the middle, and then I want to spread my glue with my finger to avoid too much bleeding through my lace. And normally this works pretty well, so let's see if this works this time too. I know that my piece of lace is a little bit too long, so I have to cut the bottom. Okay, this piece fits perfectly onto my spine. I want to make it flat and spread it out a little bit. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. So here you can see that my sewing is not very straight, but as I said, this is meant to be a kind of raggedy little journal to be used a lot, and so that's perfectly okay. Let me trim the excess here with my rotary cutter. And the next thing I want to do is I want to cover this edge, and I have this really old and vintage piece of ribbon. This is from a big roll of ribbon for clothes, and I just want to glue this down onto my edge here, and again spreading the glue a little bit and down with the ribbon. Oops, I have a little bit of time to wriggle around with my piece before the glue dries. Oh yeah, I like that. And again I will cut the edge with my rotary cutter, and I will do the same thing here on the back of my cover. Just a little bit of glue on the edge, spreading it out with my finger. And then down with my ribbon. Oops. Oh, this is so thin and really the surface is so thin. Okay, I'm really happy with that. Trimming, and for now my cover is done. So this has to be dry, and then I can go on. In the meantime, I want to see what papers I want to use inside my little journal. So let me show you the papers I put out. These are the papers I want to use. I want to have this piece as a signature. I want to leave it as it is. Perhaps I want to rip the edge a little bit because I think it's too wide for my journal. Let's see. Yeah, it is. So I have to rip something out. I'm not concerned about some papers peeking out. That's completely okay for me. As I said, I really want to use this book, and so the edges can be raggedy. I don't care, and so I will not be afraid to use the papers. If they are too neat, I really don't want to destroy or use them. So yeah, I want to keep it a little bit raggedy. Okay, so this is that. I have two of these. They are from a field guide, not a very old one. I will reinforce this middle piece with washi tape, so this can go in a signature. And then I have this math paper from a small school book. These are the papers that are in school books, so you can dry the ink from your fountain pen. These are some pretty envelopes, and I really love the color. This is an old stationery, and I want to use these papers for sketching. Two other pretty envelopes in another color. Oh, this is a card that can go into the envelope. So one other envelope. I think I have another one. Perhaps I will go and get it. I don't know yet. This is tracing paper. This is just some random, really bright colored paper. Some very thin paper. This was in between some foils for the overhead projector. They are really old and have this kind of yellowed edge. This is some paper for ink drying in a school book. Another very old and vintage tracing paper. Again, papers from the school books. This is some really old cardstock, and I love the color. More papers from the school books, and I really I really like this texture. It has a kind of almost fabric-like velvety feeling. I love this paper. This is some cardstock too. One shiny side and a grey side. Packaging paper. A paper bag from a local pharmacy. This is an old paper from a calendar. This is sandwich packaging paper. Oops. This is coffee dyed paper, and I have already folded it to see how my papers in A4 size can fit into my little booklet. These are pages from books. This was the first page in the book, directly behind the cover, and some pages from the back. These are all book pages with a lot of plain space, empty space. This is a pretty map. I really love the colors. And this was from a school book, and this is the first page in the book. This was from the inside cover. And again, book pages, the first few pages and the last pages in the book that are empty or nearly empty. These are modern envelopes. I don't know yet if I want to use these. More book page, and this one too. Packaging paper and coffee dyed paper. And these are from different batches, and they all look different. So I really want to have a lot of these in my sketchbook, and I don't know yet what I want to use from all the other pages. So I will go through my stash off camera, and then I will show you my signatures. Well, I have sewn in all my signatures, and I will show you my papers that I have in them. I just stitched everything down with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You can see the strings here on my outer spine. So, and I haven't done anything to strengthen my spine from the inside. This is just a sketchbook I want to use, and when it's full, it's full, and then I think I want to make myself another one. The first signature starts with a coffee dyed page. I have folded it down. I think I will cut it open, and then I can sketch on this paper. This is the flap of one of the envelopes, a book page, this school book paper, more coffee dyed paper I have folded in, another math paper also folded. I have made a lot of folds. I have made a lot of folds because I want to have a lot of space to draw on. Book page, packaging page. This is some tracing paper or vellum. One of these ink drying papers. This is from my botanical book. I have ripped the edge and I have inked the paper to get rid of the really stark white shine. That's the back side. And I have reinforced my middle of this botanical page with masking tape, because I wanted to keep this kind of raggedy vintage, no, not vintage, but raggedy look of this sketchbook. This doesn't have to be pretty, but useful to me. So masking tape is something that's kind of neutral colored, and yeah, I could even doodle on this tape. Coffee dyed paper in the middle, and these are the matching parts of my papers. Flip out, book page flip, another flip out. This is the envelope, and this is the last page is coffee dyed paper too. I could fold it in or leave it like this because it is not too wide. Okay, the next signature also starts with an envelope. This is from the school book. Another of these school book papers, book page, and I have staggered my papers a little bit to make it more interesting. Coffee dyed paper, vellum, this is flip out, a paper bag, more tracing paper, school book paper, coffee dyed paper, and in the middle is this pretty colored map from the Latin school book. And then I've got the back side of all these papers, some with fold outs or flip outs, staggered. I can glue something onto these flaps, and I think I will glue something to this small piece to have more room and more space for drawing and sketching. And again, a little bit of staggering here to make it more interesting. Raggedy edges, and this is the last one, the last paper of this second signature. This is the envelope, and I really love this color. Okay, this is the third signature. It starts with this yellow school book paper, book page, vellum, paper envelope. I will cut this open here. Packaging paper, another envelope. This is an old planner paper, school book paper, this one too, with a flip fold out, and this coffee dyed paper folds out as well. Another of this botanical book page, and again I inked around the edge, the ripped edge, and I reinforced the middle with masking tape. And this is the middle of this last signature. This is a very pretty kind of velvet textured paper. I really love this. And again, the back side of all these gorgeous papers. I wanted this small booklet to look interesting and inspiring, and I want to use this and not be afraid to draw and sketch on these papers, and I wanted to have a lot of space to draw on. So that's it. Now I can start to fill it with more paper. I have a lot of room in my signature. As you can see, if I squeeze it, it's flat like this. So I really want to fill this and use this.